My name is Amanda.
And I'm Carola, depending on where you're from in this world.
We are with the Yaoi Shelf, and we are here to talk about fanfiction etiquette for us lovely fujin around the world. This also applies for both readers and writers,
Yes.
because let's start with talking about who we are. So, basically what I do is, by day I am a social media manager, and at night I am a ravenous fujin who writes fanfic and hosts a yaoi podcast and talks about fictional men and unceremonious positions on a daily basis. I've been in fandom for like 20 something years and have always loved talking about like fandom history and fandom culture as it continues to grow and evolve.
So you're like the yaoi Superman, corporate slave by day, fujin by night.
Yeah, I'm also poor, so.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I am a full-time gremlin. I am a BL author. I write novels. At least I used to write novels. Now I am in editing hell permanently for reissuing some of those novels. I work with events and culture here in Norway, so I do things with the library, and I work as an organizer at one of our largest cons. And I'm a full-time gremlin.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
The best part is that we egg each other on. Like, we bring out the worst in each other.
Truly. The things I have said on our podcast, like with my full face out on the internet, it's just like
it is true friendship. It started out as an arranged marriage, and now we're actually
You're
friends.
Not late.
Yeah, you're
we
not
just
late
started.
At all. And in the middle is our son Lemon-kun. I designed this forever ago, and for whatever reason Carola has decided it's the best thing I've ever made.
I love him, and he is my child, and I adore him, so I put him on the page because he needs to be there. I'm
pretty sure he's in our shop, and if he isn't, yell at me so I can put him in today.
He does exist as like keychains and fidget rings, and yeah, we have a t-shirt.
We have t-shirts and merch that we're working on expanding. Let's see. So, as we mentioned, we're both seasoned fujin. We've been doing this for a long time. Both of us are writers. Carola is officially a writer, while I am in the plebeian class.
You write more than me, so we could argue about this till the cows come home.
No. I'm in the amateur class, peddling my smut on AO3, while Carola has big fancy books.
Mm-hmm. Just like self-deprecating. Sorry, I can't speak. But yeah, no, just like no. I am Norwegian, so I am physically incapable of receiving any praise. Like, I just can't.
Yeah, I am a proud smut peddler. I will probably drop AO3 links if you guys ask nicely. So we're from the Yaoi Shelf, as we mentioned, where we explore BL, fandom, tropes, and media criticism. Some of our favorite things. And listen, fanfic has been a cornerstone of BL fandom since its inception. To be a BL fan means to have been supported, empowered, informed by fanworks. However, as two elder fujin, we've seen fanfiction grow from obscure place on the internet to international mainstream phenomena. Some of you may have seen a very widely popular mainstream publication talking about Fujoshi.
I'm fine. I did not read it. I have not read it. But yeah, tourists. We'll get to that.
Yeah. So it feels, when we came up with this topic, we couldn't have decided that it would be timely. But turns out it is. So we're gonna go over some basic online etiquette for fanfiction readers and writers. I think it's important to include writers in this conversation because as someone who took a long break from writing fanfiction and coming back into like modern fic culture, that was a learning curve. So we're here to be your guides into this world. Let's see.
And also just to commiserate and whinge with everyone.
Yeah, to be old.
That's what we do on this podcast. So
yeah. But wait a minute. Hey, you two old heads. I know how to behave on the internet. That's great. Good job. This panel is meant to be informative for fanfic enjoyers and writers at every level. The cool thing about the internet is how much it changes and evolves. You know, Carola and I existed on an internet that does not exist anymore. Existential crisis for me.
Yeah.
So even if you know how to behave on the internet, it's always helpful to have a reminder. You know, I'm from the South, so we usually take like regular etiquette courses just to refresh yourself on which spoon goes on which plate.
Yeah, we don't do that over here. I had to take a class on that for school once, and I was so afraid it would be on my exam. It's terrifying.
Can't wait to bring Carola over here and take you like a debutante manners class where we get to dress up like Gone with the Wind characters.
No, thank
you. There's so many different spoons.
Listen, I don't have any spoons, so this is all this. Yeah,
there's like 3 spoons and 4 forks and like 4 knives and multiple plates. Yeah, there is the ice cream fork. I cannot wait. We're gonna go to Cracker Barrel and then we're gonna go to a debutante manners class where we can learn about being silent women who don't have biological needs.
Okay.
So it never hurts to have a refresher, right? Wife.
No, what? I thought you were talking to the audience. I was hung up on the ice cream fork in the comment section. No, but it's true. And like you said, we both took a long break and came back into, sites that were vastly different and communities that were vastly different. And as we're seeing, there's this, fandoms are expanding and going more global, and there are all of these like things changing. And as we have discussed already in the comments, tourists are visiting. So sometimes it's nice to just have a little refresher and think about what forms these spaces. How do we behave in these spaces?
And a little bit of background for us. I mean, we say that we lived on an internet that doesn't exist anymore. I mean, Carola, you were primarily a GeoCities and adultfanfiction.net kind of girl.
Yeah, and LiveJournal. Love
and
of
LiveJournal.
My life.
I used to smut pedal on Quizzilla.
I can't get over that. I talked to someone earlier this week who also knew about the smut fix on Quizzilla. Mind blown. You rebels breaking the quiz site.
Stream authors got mad and closed us down. We were silenced.
That was where Amanda's villain arc got started.
Truly.
Shut down on Quizzilla.
Between Anne Rice and Joe Rowling? Absolutely.
Oh, God.
Yes.
That reminds me, I still need to do the Yarichin quiz from the opening ceremonies.
Anne Rice, my mortal enemy.
Don't let her hear you.
She's dead.
Well, she could haunt you from somewhere.
From New Orleans? Oh. So
maybe she's a vampire.
Mind blown. So let's go over some etiquette for fanfiction readers. Without readers, fanfiction writers would just be posting into the void, which sometimes we do.
Yeah. And sometimes we don't even post, let's be fair.
No,
like
sometimes we don't even post.
Sometimes things just sit on your hard drive and then you read it occasionally.
I think some of my favorite fic that I've ever done is like the sneaky link fic, where it's like you and your friends know about it intimately, but it will never see the light of day. Yes, exactly. It'll stay in Discord with your friends only. I have a magnum opus gravitation fic that will never see the light of day because I wrote it when I was like 15 years old and had a lot of feelings. Yes, it was a gravitation fic.
If you like gravitation, you need to come listen to the show because we cannot go an entire episode without mentioning gravitation.
True. This means
we have a whole episode on it.
We do. It was Carola's dowry demand.
Yeah.
to become my co-host. That means you as reader are just as important to the fanworks ecosystem as those of us creating fanworks. Without readers, we are truly posting into the void. Because of that, fanfic. Are
you making fun of me? Are you
Cicada.
making fun of Cicada?
Carola has done so many panels about gravitation, and I say that with love.
I have, and when I have actually read the new translation, there might be a Gravitation 3.0 panel coming. CitrusCon, if you'll have me, I'll bring it.
Also, I want to bring up this point. I'll defend Anne Rice for a little bit. You are absolutely correct. The Anne Rice slander is very minimal. I get where her head was. If I wrote obviously queer vampires and everyone made them obviously queer, I'd also be upset. Teasing.
It doesn't make sense what you just said.
No, but you're right. She was just going with the old rules. I understand. Because of that, fanfiction readers, you guys are entitled to some rights.
Wow.
I know.
That is so kind of you.
So kind. I know, we're so generous. You guys are entitled to rights now because as many of you chimed in on Quizzilla, we didn't have rights back.
I think, yeah, no, I mean, we'll get there, but every so often there are like people discussing how AO3 can be made better, like by turning it into a social media site or doing this with it or doing that with it. It's like, no, we have rights now. Don't touch it. I survived the LiveJournal strikeout of 2007. Don't touch my sites.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah, big same. I got to watch DeviantArt become an AI slot machine. So, I didn't mean to trigger you.
No, I was looking for some screen tones the other day, and it took me to DeviantArt, a site I have not touched for years, and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Oh.
Anyway,
I didn't mean to trigger everyone on DeviantArt. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's so sad.
So, readers do have some rights. Carola, do you want to read these off?
I can read them off. Do you want me to comment on them? Should I like?
I mean, I will also probably comment on them. That's why we do panels.
Yeah, rest in peace, DA. Yes. Okay. So the rights of the fanfic reader, as provided by the Yaoi Shelf, you have the right to not read or finish a fanfic. Consent is important. You can personally not like a fic pairing or how a work is written. That is fine. You don't have to like everything. You absolutely can be offended by the contents of a work. Again, everybody doesn't like everything. You can think something is morally reprehensible. You can leave constructive criticism if the author is open to it. If they have
big if on that.
For instance, if they have stated openly, hey, give me some criticism on this. What did you think of this? Did I write, like, did you find any typos, you know? And you can disagree on how a character is portrayed in a particular work of fiction. These are all rights you have that you can
exercise.
You can feel all of these things. You can, exercise your rights.
I think one thing in the fan fiction conversation that I feel is missing a lot is it's that fine line between you are allowed to have an opinion. It's what you do with that opinion matters. I think sometimes the way people talk about it is like, you cannot think anything bad about anything that anyone has created. And it's like, no, that's not true.
No.
I'm allowed to dislike things.
But you also have the right to remain silent.
Okay. We're not. Okay. I'm
just saying, you don't have to voice all of those things out loud.
Exactly. And like, Carola,
Yeah, the power to close a tab is real.
How many times have I found something in a fan fiction and run to you screeching?
Enough times. And you know, we did an episode on tags.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a part in that, I think it's like in the intro, where I'm like, today we're going to talk about tags and why Amanda doesn't read them. And then you just screamed at me, I read them. Yes, you do. And then you're surprised that the dove is dead.
I wasn't surprised the dove was dead. I was surprised by death by dragon fucking.
Even though the tag said death by dragon fucking.
And rebirth by dragon fucking.
I mean, I can see where the intrigue lies. But like, it's just, but yeah, I mean, we've all been there. We've all like clicked on something. Where do I read this? Amanda, do you have the link for this masterpiece?
I'll dig it up for you guys.
Oh my god.
This wasn't it to share the death by dragon fucking rebirth by dragon.
I'm sorry I brought it up. Time to traumatize a whole new generation of listeners.
But yeah, like there's things that I've read and I've run to Carola like, hey, I don't like this. And then guess what? I leave the fan fiction alone.
Yeah. And like, we've all been there. I mean, imagine this. You're, for those of us who grew up with linear television, okay? Like, you're swapping through the channels in the middle of the night, vegetating on your couch, and a show comes on, and you're like, oh, maybe I'll watch this. And then after a while, you realize, I don't like this. You can change the channel. You can close the window if you're watching in a browser. This is the same thing in fic, right? You don't have to read the whole thing. If something squicks you, you can click the back button. Or, you know, you can read it because you're morbidly curious and you want to see how it ends, but no one's holding a gun to your head telling you to do that.
In our last episode in which we talked about how fan fiction has changed, we discussed that like very performative angst aspect of early fandom, and how sometimes reading fic was like a Cenobite punishment ritual that we do. It's like, oh, the goal is to find the worst fic, the fic that squicks me out the most. Okay, cool. If you're using fic as pain ritual, that's not on the writer that you're doing it.
What? Help? Yeah, I just put that spork in a place it doesn't need to be. But oh yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
we didn't have to tell the writer that, hey, I used this as pain ritual and now I hate you. That wasn't necessary. So now that we've gone over our rights, and we've already started talking a little bit about what fanfic readers should not be doing. You should not. Carola, do you want to say some of your favorite words?
What are my favorite words?
We are big anti-doxing on this podcast.
Oh, okay. Yes. No. Yes, the cops. Okay, so yes. Things that you absolutely should not be doing, but let's take it from the top. Do not harass a fic writer, and like, not in the comments, not on their socials, not anywhere else. Don't go hunting them down. Just click the back button and leave the window, right? Don't tell them to go back to writing a pairing they used to write before. Like, maybe you followed someone for a particular ship or a particular fandom and then they move on. That's their business. You're not allowed to dox or threaten a fanfic writer. That is actually a punishable crime. And then there's the fact that people are literally out there calling the cops on fanfic writers and artists for any reason. And this is like one of my favorite, and that is a very heavy quotation, quotes on that favorite, is that a couple of years ago, the UK, like, there was a UK special police force, I guess they deal with like crime against, like, sexual crimes against children, had to put up a thing on their website to tell people to stop reporting drawings, because people were spending the police's resources, having them look into fictional characters. This is relevant to stuff that is happening in the UK today, by the way, I saw on Twitter. But yeah. Did you want to comment on that?
Yeah, and sidebar also, don't dox a fanfic writer and call their job saying that they're gross and like doing a sex crime.
Yeah, because someone might be doing a sex crime, but that in that case, that is the horrible seme in the fic that you were reading, again, at your own will.
This is seme slander, not all. Hashtag
I know, not all, only the ones that shop at
hashtag not all
Home
semes.
But yeah.
Right, like that could end a job or an entire career.
Yeah.
Imagine No, go ahead.
Because you also need to understand, and we talked about this in our most recent episode, that to a certain extent, and this is also why the older fujin, the older fandom, tends to be a lot more gatekeepy, because we have historically and still are considered as weirdos. People think fandom is weird. People think fanfic is weird. So you're already strange for writing fic about fictional characters and engaging beyond the regular just watching the show. But now fiction is not Epstein Island, correct? But now they're also like, oh, you're also a freak who's writing weird sex stuff about it. And mind you, this could be people just finding out the most basic fic stuff. It's not even, you don't know where I've been. And here you are reporting us to the police.
Yeah.
End tangent.
Do not tell them how bad of a writer or person they are. I know one thing we were guilty of back in the old days, and I see a little bit of a resurgence of, is like really below the belt comments of like, oh, you clearly don't understand this work and you are a bad person for it. Like, what?
Like, clearly you don't know this character, implied like I do, and therefore you are a terrible person.
Yeah. Also, posting cringy screenshots, listen, that's private chat behavior.
Yeah.
You don't need to post that online. As someone who just celebrated their cancelversary, you don't need to post all of your unfettered thoughts onto the internet. Yeah.
Yes.
Cancelversary.
The guinea pig stan cancelversary.
Yeah, I got canceled by guinea pig stans. Which is the funniest thing that has ever happened to me in my life. If we have time at the end, I'll explain my canceling.
It's a whole saga.
It's a whole saga. If we have time at the end, one of the things said ever. I didn't do anything to the guinea pig. Okay.
You were the victim in this situation.
I was the victim of the guinea pig. Okay, we're moving on. For us writers, that includes you, Carola.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm trying to include you.
I know I'm a writer. Where did the guinea pig touch you? Oh my god. No.
So fanfiction writers are the superheroes of fandom. Mic drop. Regularly producing novels worth of work for free most of the time, and simply for the love of the game. Writing fictional gay content. That is the game. Without their hard work, our hard work, fandom simply wouldn't be the same. I think we can all agree. One thing that I do love that is coming back into practice is really appreciating fan fiction and fan fiction writers and fan art creators. There was a little bit of a dead period where the only thing that mattered was the fic and not the soul behind it. But now there's so much more appreciation for that human being that is taking time out of their finite lives to do this. I spend my finite time on this earth writing Matt and Mellow fic.
As you should. I think that's a great way to spend your finite time. But also, I mean, we know. Oh, we talk about Death Note all the time. You're ageless. Listen, they are ageless. They are perfect. But yeah, no. I mean, we do talk about this a lot in the overarching internet societies about the dedication of the fic writer. With all of these unhinged author's notes, like, oh, I was hit by a car, like I was in the hospital, my house burned down, but they're still there. It's like, oh, I was falsely accused of murder, but don't worry, the chapter is only 3 days late. Like, these people are just out there doing the most for free. Okay, I appreciate fic writers so much.
100%. Oh, we left a blank. You said you edited this.
Yes, I did. I guess I didn't see that one.
It's okay. Listen.
We'll ad-lib it. That's what we do most of the time anyway.
One thing we definitely need to do as fic writers is tag appropriately to the best of your abilities. Here's the thing I learned with tagging and having capital T trauma is that while I cannot ever assume what someone's headspace is going to be, I can do my best to account for things that are obvious. Who got shot so they couldn't update.
Oh, and then it's like, I know how it feels now, so that's good news.
Yeah. But to tag appropriately to the best of your abilities. If something is obvious, tag the obvious thing. Now, if someone comes in and says, oh, hey, I really wish you had tagged for that. That's a case-by-case scenario, and you can make that determination case-by-case. Set boundaries about the kind of criticism that you accept. In our last episode, Carola and I both got to talk about how we handle criticism not well.
I mean, it does depend, because again, I have said this so many times. One of the best reviews I've ever gotten on one of my books was actually a negative review. With it was like a 2-star review or something. Incredibly negative, but the person pointed out all of the things that I knew that people who liked the first book wouldn't like in the second book. So it basically was like an ad, like a flashing ad for anyone who likes this kind of content. So it was like it was a great review. It was just that person subjectively didn't like the book. So it depends. If you call me like a stupid fetishizing Fujo in the comments, I'm not gonna be happy about it. That's different.
Oh, for sure. Also, to the comment that says, do we have to tag? What if I want to traumatize you with a surprise? We're talking about that next slide. Watching you. I'm watching you. Feel free to write the kind of content that you want to write. Again, if you have a fic writer that you really love for one fic pairing and they pivot to something else, that writer shouldn't be ashamed of that choice.
No.
You definitely find your bread and butter. So for me right now, it's Matt and Mellow and Batcest, which are some very specific butter dishes to have.
Just butter dishes.
Yeah, I write a lot of the Robins enjoying each other.
Correct. I hear about it a lot. I don't go here.
Knives Wood. I did the Knives Wood. I did it. It's on the AO3.
I didn't say that it wasn't.
No, it was in the comments.
Oh, okay. I thought I'm just so used to you just like
yelling at you.
Yeah, yelling at me. I have no rights. See,
someone's going to clip this. No, I'm going to mansplain over you this time. Someone's going to clip this out of context, and they're going to think I'm horrible to you.
Yeah, you see that people are calling. Yeah, people are calling you out in the comments. It's time for your second council anniversary.
I don't want to
go.
No, someone's gonna clip this and make like a Amanda abuses Carola top 10 moments montage.
I'm gonna make it. I'm that person. I think there's a clip somewhere of us just yelling that we're gonna fight each other.
There's multiple clips of us yelling we're gonna fight each other. That's what we do.
But it's okay, Andrea, because I haven't written fic in a million years, so I don't think I count as a fic writer anymore. I'm just a regular writer now. I don't have any rights at all.
Also, as a writer, feel free to respond to the feedback that you want. Again, like I know when I first started writing on AO3, I had a huge issue with tags and tagging. So it's like, oh, hey, you might want to write this with the / tag instead of the and tag because the and tag means platonic. That didn't exist when I was writing fan fiction.
But, you know, I also think, again, like, these are things that change with the times, right? Because I feel like a few years ago, which feels like a million years ago, because honestly, what is the world? But remember, like, years ago, when people were discussing the snowflake generation and trigger warnings, right? And I think that within that debate, there was a lot more people were kind of like, there was more of a backlash towards tags as well, because people saw them as weak, you know, like trigger warnings, content warnings, tagging things that you as the writer didn't necessarily consider needed tagging. And then people kind of like moved against that. But now we've gotten to a point where we're kind of like on the, I'm not saying everyone and every fandom, but a lot of the time we're on the opposite end of the spectrum, where people are now so sensitive and I say sensitive as in cannot separate fiction from reality, cannot, you know, cultivate their own experience. Again, breaking all of the rules that we were mentioning beforehand. And where you can, like someone said in the comments, you can tag basically everything and someone is still going to complain because you didn't tag that one specific thing, because sometimes you'll miss something.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one big thing is that I think we're very much past that generation of missing tags to willfully do harm, which is what we're going to talk about in the next slide. I remember being on like Quizilla and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, like that was the goal, was that bait and switch. Oh, I'm trying to, you know, scare people with, shock fic. You know, I intentionally under tag because the goal is to lure someone into a false sense of security, like a goblin shark.
It's just, you know, perpetuating the trauma that was handed to you by the elders. Yeah.
Sorry, I was traumatized for a moment.
Just like it.
Suddenly, once again, I was 11 years old on the unfettered internet.
Which was a very different internet, but like, yeah.
Right. And then I think another big point is that regardless of your writing level, you're allowed to write.
Yeah.
I had this issue when I first came back into fanfic writing. I read fanfic now and it's like, wow, these guys are amazing. I suck. I'm bad at this.
I think that is just the universal writer experience.
It is.
It's just because you just like, you know, your friends are writing or the people that you follow and you're just like, oh, they're all so good, and I'm just some humble, like, I live under a rock, I write words. I'm
a smut peddling gremlin that lives under a bridge.
But it's like, it's what we talked about it in the episode this month as well, that you need to hone your craft. Like, you're not going to become any better at writing by not writing.
Correct.
You have to do it, and if you're going to, and if you want to, like, if you want to do something, at least this is my philosophy. It seems like the world, I know bad news, in order to write, you have to write. It is, I know it's horrific, but like, where was I going with this? I got distracted by the comments. Sorry.
You were talking about how honing your skills with writing, that the best way to write is to improve writing is to continue to write.
But also, and I think that this goes for a lot of things, like contrary to what a lot of people out in the real world will tell you, you should do what you love. And so you should write what you love. for the most part, like the most important person you're writing for is yourself. Write the fic you want to see in the world, because sometimes we have very specific scenarios we want to see and no one's writing them and we have to do it ourselves, okay? So you might as well enjoy what you're doing.
That one horrible fic that I wrote that you love.
Yes, correct. I was not the target audience for that fic, but I enjoyed it greatly.
You were literally the target audience. I wrote it with nothing but spiteful thoughts towards you. And it worked.
What is this slander in front of an audience, in front of a live audience? I'm being attacked.
No, I wrote that entirely with Carola destruction in mind, and it worked.
Are you guys feeling the love? Because like, no, but but this is one of the reasons why I'm like such a fan of the tag, you know, authors badly disguised kinks or whatever, because yes, go you, write the thing you want to see, you know?
Yeah, the writer's barely disguised fetish is my favorite tag on AO3.
I love it.
It's like, listen, this might be OOC and we might be doing some stuff that doesn't relate to this universe at all, but I want it to happen. So I am making it so.
Yeah, and it's like someone said, it's primarily for me. And if someone else comes along and enjoys it with me, great. That makes it even better.
Yeah, for sure. What we should not do is willfully doing harm by omitting tags. Now, Carola and I tend to approach tags a little bit differently. Coming in with like a classic literature degree, I'm very like, well, you don't get tags in real life. I was also raised in the South. So that took some unlearning. It's like, you don't get trigger warnings in real life, and I don't want it spoilering the essence of the movie. Yeah, sure. But also, AO3 is not Avengers Endgame. Tag appropriately. Like, I say Avengers Endgame because that was probably one of the, well, no, the last movie that probably triggered something in me was Sinners. But like, that was a movie that ended up, yeah, like it triggered some emotion in me because of personal experience. I didn't need Ryan Coogler to step out before the movie started saying, all right, in this movie, we're going to be covering this topics. Here are timestamps. So you know when to duck out or cry. I didn't need him to do that before the movie started.
No, and I also think, you know, as we all know, or at least as we all know on the podcast, I have severe emetophobia, so I need trigger warnings. I cannot watch films. It's really, really hard for me without trigger warnings and timestamps, and this is also why I hate cinemas. So, but a lot of people I meet have never even heard of this phobia, right? So sometimes you're gonna miss a tag or you're gonna miss a warning because you didn't consider that this is something that can squick people, because we don't all know everything. And that's fine, because that's not intentionally harmful. And I think it's important to like not just think that everyone has the worst thing in mind at all times.
Well, and what I love about community is now, so like now that I know about Carola's phobia, if I see something that I like, I can be like, wait, Carola's not gonna like this, so I'll give her what she needs, like timestamps, like warnings. You know, I think in the last panel I talked about Avengers Endgame a lot because that ended up being like a dead dad trigger for me. Spoilers for Avengers Endgame, which was years ago. And I remember when you have dead parents, you make friends with a lot of other people that have dead parents. So being able to be in spaces with my friends who also have similar trauma saying, hey, just a heads up, this is not Dead Dad Club approved. I can still be vague about it, so I'm not giving away a spoiler, but sometimes it's really nice to have that heads up so you're not ugly crying in a movie theater. But yeah, we shouldn't be willfully doing harm anymore. If it's an accident, it's an accident. But willfully holding back if there's dubcon or non-con in your fic, no. as much as readers should not dox and harass writers, writers also shouldn't dox and harass readers.
Correct. And you know, I know we're talking about fanfic here, but my YouTube algorithm likes to recommend me the topic authors behaving badly. And it really does seem, again, like we've talked about how the social internet as it is today has completely destroyed any form of common sense. And now you have like literal published authors out there just like harping on singular people who didn't like their books, for instance. Like, it's insane. Like, can we just not?
Yeah, big same to that. I have a full-time corporate job. I don't have to. Someone made a joke earlier saying like it's very unemployed behavior, and I unfortunately kind of, yeah. I have a full-time job.
I do not have a full-time job, and I am perfectly capable of not harassing people on the internet.
This is true. Only me.
So, like...
You only harass me on the internet.
Yes, correct. But that's because I like you and we're friends. And it's a mutual harassment.
What kind of Sasunaru logic are you using on us?
Dude, this was the asylum where I was raised, and don't talk to me.
What kind of black cat golden retriever logic are you trying to use?
Oh, just you wait. Just you wait until my giant Sasunaru panel is done. One day. Right, who has the spoons for that? I can't do my dishes. Like, what?
I had to make 2 phone calls on Friday, and I had to ask my friends to hype me up. I had to speak to a doctor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, hey, don't tell your readers that they're weak if they can't hang with a fic. Especially me over here on Dead Dove Island. It's not helpful if... What?
Oh, I'm just considering the things that you read, just imagining you just like attacking some poor innocent person, like, oh my god, you're such a weakling because you didn't want to read this horrific traumatic fic that ruined my life for years. I'm not mentioning any names, but you know what I'm thinking about. And it involves the Elric brothers.
The Full Metal Alchemist fanfic that made me stop reading fanfiction. Yeah, just imagine like 20 years later going back into the comments calling anyone who's like, this made me sound weak. Suck it up, read it again.
And again,
become
like
strong.
We did a full episode on, I don't know if you can call it like the psychology behind why we would do stuff like this, but there's the performative angst of early fandom. We have a whole episode on that.
We do.
Just listen to that if you want to hear us talk more about this unhinged mindset that existed.
Also, we are no longer in an era where you can hold fic hostage. I was watching Mind Pulp, and they were like, oh, if this video gets 9,000 likes, we'll release another one. Do you remember when fanfic writers used to do that? Where we were like, oh, if this work doesn't get like 50 likes and how many comments and whatever, we'll get the next chapter. Don't do that anymore. I feel like so B.F. Skinner was an animal behaviorist who was famous for inventing the Skinner box, in which he trained pigeons to peck at a dial, which was technology invented so pigeons could drop bombs during World War II. But he would trade...
Are these very tiny bombs?
No, like the pigeon was like in a cockpit of a plane.
Oh, like that. Okay.
And the pigeon
I was just imagining pigeon holding a tiny bomb in its talons.
So there were bat bombs that were tiny bombs attached to bats, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So the pigeon would trade a peck for a treat so they could drop bombs. We're not doing that anymore. I don't like feeling like a sad pigeon in a box being given a little, it's like, oh, if you do this, you get a little treat. Society does that enough for me. I'm a black AFAB in Texas.
Yeah.
Society does that enough for me on a day-to-day basis. I'm like, yeah, look, here's a little treat. Just give me the chapter.
I only agree with this tactic in very specific scenarios. The main scenario being me trying to coax my friend to give me feedback on something I sent her and just forcing her to give me feedback, or else she won't get the next chapter. That's different.
Also, yesterday in chat, we were talking about how I have a double major and an almost philosophy minor. This is what I use my degree for, is studying about pigeons used in warfare.
I think it's great. Also, pigeons are,
pigeon fair. We have a good amount of time.
Yeah, actually.
Do you guys want to ask any questions? But I'm also going to leave up this slide saying, hey, if you enjoyed this chaos and want more, we are all over the social internet, and we have a full podcast where you can listen to us be unhinged for 2 hours at a time.
Sometimes even more. Apparently, we have a tradition where our Halloween special tends to be like the longest episode we've ever done, and they just keep getting longer. So this past year, we talked about the summer Hikaru died for like almost 3 hours. It was
okay. I see How did I get canceled by guinea pig stands? Okay.
Yeah. Important question.
So years ago, there was this woman in the UK who owned frankly too many guinea pigs, and I used to watch her content because, like most stressed out people, just watching cute animals be cute was really, really soothing. Well, a few things happened. She would always talk about how much drama there was in the guinea pig rescue community. She'd always talk about how people were haters. And I wrote a blog post on my blog basically saying, hey, love this woman and her too many guinea pigs. But hate and drama don't come from nowhere. Like, you have to be engaging with this for there to be so much of a problem. And I also commented on like a couple of mysterious deaths that she had, because she had all of these guinea pigs. She had like 60, 70 guinea pigs like in a shed. So I did comment on like, hey, there's also been a few mysterious deaths, and that's a little that's a little sus to me. But overall, I like this lady. I like all of her guinea pigs in a shed. And I pressed send. What I didn't know what was going to happen was this woman would find my blog post, share it to her tens of thousands of fans, and say that I was being rude to her and terrible, and woe is me, this person was mean. So here's a step-by-step playback of how this happened. It started on the anniversary of my dad's death. I started getting notification after notification of traffic on my blog. And it was people calling me outside of my name, telling me how terrible I was, calling me a bad person. Where was the topic? Because I wrote this, frankly, very soft piece saying, hey, maybe don't own 70 guinea pigs, but also drama doesn't come from nowhere. The canceling went on for years. I just, in the last couple of years, stopped getting comments on that post. So that was the time that I got canceled by guinea pig stands. There's merch and everything.
True.
I suppose I can keep it going. Where's the merch? It's on my Redbubble. Again, I'll drop it all in our discussion channel. They must have...
Yeah.
I don't know. She has more guinea pigs. I don't keep up with her very often. I also made it into a British newspaper about this.
What? I didn't know that part.
Yeah, I made it into a British newspaper.
Okay. Amanda's 5 minutes of fame, just like...
So that's my legacy. It's not the unhinged stuff I say on the Yaoi Shelf. It's not the unhinged stuff I say specifically at CitrusCon.
No, and like the funny thing is that the stuff we say on the podcast is just completely unhinged. Like, we've said some stuff that is just like, I don't understand why we haven't been cancelled. But the one time where you kind of like stop yourself and put a disclaimer is if you mention the guinea pig saga, because that woman might be watching and you just don't want it to happen again. It's like the one time Amanda will self-censor.
She reached out to me like years later and was not apologetic at all. So, okay, actual questions about tagging. How to tag for longer fics without spoiling the story. I'm doing a big multi-chapter fic right now. I think if the tag is warranted and necessary, you're gonna have to risk spoiling it, because just providing the tag doesn't mean that you're giving away how it's going to happen. Like, in this next upcoming chapter of my Matt and Mellow fic, there will be some mild kink negotiation, mostly despite Carola.
Why is it? Why? What did I do again?
Our last episode where you were like, I hate how everyone has certain kinks now.
Oh, right.
So is that important for people to see and understand? Yeah. Do they need to know the intimate shape of what that's going to look like? No, not by the tags.
I see a question.
What is it?
Out of curiosity, what are y'all's takes on readers who don't leave comments on fics they like?
I think it depends on what the comment is.
I mean, if they don't leave comments, even though they like I don't always leave comments, and this is one of the reasons when I got back into fanfic reading after a million years, I started because I love comments. Everyone loves feedback, so I really wanted to give something back to the authors that were writing these things. So I am the person writing a novel in the comments, but I am also a severely burned out person. So when I ran out of spoons and couldn't leave the comments I felt the author deserved, I ended up stopping reading fics altogether, because I was like, oh, I can't read the next chapter until I have the energy to write this comment. So I don't think you're a bad person if you don't leave comments. And I mean, most people don't. I mean, it costs so little to just say a little, just give a little thanks.
Yeah.
But you're not a terrible person if you don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, lurking has its place. I'll say this: if I particularly like something, I will drum up the spoons to leave a comment. I think, especially coming from it as someone who is currently writing fic, I would love more comments, but I also understand that that's hard. And to this day, one of the favorite comments I've ever received was Carola's essay that she put on one of my fics.
That wasn't even a long essay.
I know, but it was still amazing.
I once left an 18K comment.
Okay, if you left me that, I would be unhappy with you. If you wrote a comment,
was very happy.
If you wrote a comment longer than my fic, I'd actually be upset with you.
I think the comment was like half.
Yeah,
half
I would. Okay, that's fair. I think I would actually be upset with you if you wrote a comment longer than.
What is wrong with me? But I also think, because I mean, my approach also comes from, I write originals now. I don't write fic because I don't know how to do that anymore.
I write originals.
And no, but most people, when they buy a book, right, they read it and then that's it. They never tell the author what they think about it. Most people, whether you are, at the top of whatever best-selling novel list you have in your country, or you won prizes, or you're just like me, just a small-time BL peddler, most people aren't going to give you feedback on your novels. And I think that because fanfic is such a community and it's such a natural part of the transaction almost, but with books we don't do that a lot of the time.
Any other questions?
Are you okay?
Die. Sorry.
Please remember to hydrate, everybody. Are you drinking actual water, or are you
Yeah, it's water.
Okay, it's not your blue paint water.
Leave me and my blue paint water alone. I love.
Oh, is this a? Yes, that is a wank and tell comment. Oh, that is.
Where is it?
No, there was someone. Wait, one person wrote "I comes" on an old fic, and honestly, it was my favorite.
I do love.
I do love a warm
Is it the blue lemonade Kool-Aid? Yes, it is. It's the blue raspberry Kool-Aid.
Someone who knows the paint water.
Yes.
Oh god. You can also ask us other BL related questions.
Oh, what are the differences between writing fic and an original besides the obvious? Carola gets to talk about her career in public, and I have to hide my shame from my Catholic aunts.
Okay, first of all, you don't hide anything. and I mean, I think it depends, because how do I even like, I haven't written fic in so long. And I used to think like writing originals was terrifying, because when you write fic, you know the characters so well and you have the scenario and you can just customize it as you want. And then this is why I write contemporary. I do not write like fantasy. I will not do world building. I have a hard enough time trying to wrangle these boys that are just doing whatever the hell they want. But I think for me, I think one of the hardest things, or like it's kind of just like putting yourself out there, because one, all writers basically just want to dig a hole and hide in it, but also because it is a lot harder to gain traction for original works, because you kind of only get the attention that puts you on the map once you're already on the map. So I think that might be one of the differences. Like it does tend to feel like people don't really care about your original things. But
do you think we have time for one more?
I guess. What does the moderator think?
Is it acceptable to write OCX canon and post it? Yeah, you may ship all you want.
I mean, I say we, I never did, but people used to do that way before the term Yumaship even existed. Amanda knows this. Amanda is a veteran at this. But yeah, I mean, that's the beauty. You can write whatever you want. You can post it. It's magic. And there's gonna be someone who enjoys it. So absolutely.
Yeah, I don't publish OC fiction anymore, but I still have a lot of thoughts about it. Love Yume shipping. Go have fun. Please.
Yes. So about 2 minutes.
Yeah, you've got time.
Oh.
So if someone has
anything else?
Anything? If not, we do have a discussion in the discussion channel on the CitrusCon server, so you can join us there and chit chat and ask more questions if you want.
Oh, sorry. I've seen this one a couple of times. I apologize. What do you think about putting a relationship tag early? I think it's unfortunately necessary, especially just the way modern tagging sites work. Because if you don't tell people what the fic is going to be about, they're not going to read it, or they're not going to know where to find it.
Yeah, but I also feel like, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I grew up on AFF, not fanfiction.net, but I feel like you had to put that in back in the day on some sites. Like
on some sites, yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't necessarily have to be the ship, but you had to put in which characters were the main focus.
Let's do this last one. Do you have any advice for first-time fic writers? Have fun.
Yes.
I mean, if you hang out in our writing channel on our Discord, you can hear me regularly screaming to a god that doesn't hear me.
Fretting about things nobody but you will ever care about.
But have fun.
Yeah, have fun. Like, try things out, see what works for you, and just enjoy the ride.
Thank you guys so much.
Yay.
Thank you so much for joining us.
We always have a good time at CitrusCon.
I love being
one of our favorite times of the year. And we hope that you guys get to hang out with us over on our show.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. This was great.
Thank you.
Guys, don't forget to go and check out their thread. Continue the discussion.
Yep, we will be lurking in there after I go have more coffee because it's 9 a.m.
I'm gonna return to the wild forests of CitrusCon, and Fujo out with everybody.
Flashback.
My brain is dead. I slept 3 hours.
Felt. That's the experience. All right, everybody. Have a good time.
Thank you so much. Bye. Bye.